Hello there and welcome back to STEAM with Steve. Today we're going to keep going on with our coding back experience with this awesome online system that will teach you how to code. So let's get straight into it. If we go to Python, we're going to do warm up number 2. So we're going to go over to this one over here. And we're just going to do these 9 exercises. So we're going to start with string times. So to start, they've gone string times is bracket str and then n. So let's just do a straight return. And we want to do str times. So given a string, a non-integer n, return a larger string that copies n lots of the original. So just literally times n. Go that. Cool. Done. Easy. So hi, 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 hi. 1 is 1. Cool. The way they did it is they did it with a for loop. So they've gone for I in range of n. Okay. Which is fine. That's fine. And yeah, so you could do it that way as well, but that's just a little bit of an easier hack way of doing it. Given a string with a non-integer n, we'll say the front of the string is the first 3 chars. Whatever is there if the string is less than 3, return the n copies of the front. So we want to then go def that, and then we want to go return again, and we want to get part of the string. So we got str bracket 0 to 3. So that will get the first 3 characters, and we want to times that by n. Cool. And then they did a little bit of an error check here. So front length is equal to 3. If front length is greater than the length of the string, front length equals the length of the string. Front then equals the string up to the front length. Cool. That should be pretty straightforward. Yeah. Next one, string bits. So they got hello, and then it's going to go HLO. So this is okay. So it looks like it's cutting the string. So given a string, return a new string made up with every other character, starting with the first. So hello yields HLO. So it looks like the second character goes, then the fourth character goes with this one. So this one will get rid of the second character. So because it's going up in even numbers, we would probably use the mod function. So let's go output, close quotation marks, like so. And then let's get rid of stuff. So we want to do a loop. So we want to go for x in range of the length of the string, snaky by, and then if x is, x mod 2 is equal to 0, then output plots equals the string and then the character that's at that position. So what should happen then, at 0 we keep it, 1 we don't, 2 we keep it, 3 we don't, 4 we keep it, etc, etc. And now we want to return the output. Let's see what happens there. Awesome. So they did result. Yep. Okay. So it is pretty much the same thing. Yep. Perfect. Awesome. Next one. String explosion. So given a non-empty string like code, return the string where it goes C code, C cod, C code. Okay. So we want, again, another output string. So we're going to go output is equal to empty string. And then we want to go for x in range of length of string, snaky byte, and then output plus equals the string that we currently have starting from 0 all the way up to x. I think that will work. Oh no, that will need to do -1. No. And forgot, sorry. Important bit. Return output. +1, sorry. There we go. So if we didn't plus the 1 on that, it wouldn't add on the last one. So it wouldn't do E. on the end. So we needed to make sure that had +1 there. Just because remember when we add, when we get the length of this, it doesn't include the full length. So that's why we need a +1 on. Cool. Next one. Hi xxx, hi equals 1. What's that all about? So given a string, return the count of the number of times that a substring length 2 appears in the string, and also as the last 2 characters of the string. So hi xxx, hi yields 1. We won't count the end substring. Okay, so the end substring is hi. We want to see how many times that exists inside of the other thing. So this one had 1, had the hi at the front. XX only happens once there, and then XX actually happens there, but then also happens again from, so it goes from 1 to 2, but it also does 2 to 3, okay, which is why that spits out 2. Okay, so we want, what we're printing out, we want to do the count, so we're going to have count is equal to 0 to start. We then want to get the end of the string, so we're going to go end of str, square brackets. Now, how do we do this? We want to go from the end to in. So we want to go -2 colon, square brackets. I just want to see what actually happens if that works. So we'll go return end, just run it, see what happens. Did it work? X. Yeah, nice. I think that worked. Cool. So we definitely have the end there. So now we want to iterate through that. So for x in range, and we want to go all the way through the whole thing, but we want to not do the last one because we're doing groups of 2 strings. So we want to go for x in range to, what do we want to do? We want to go x in range to the length of the string -1. Cool. Snaky bite. And then if we want to check the string at the start, so we want to go from the string 0 to x. No, we want to go from x because that's going to be iterating through. So we're going to start at 0, which will be x, and then we want to do x plus 2. Because then it's going to go 1 across, yep. So then it's going to go, that was stored as 0 snaky bite 2, which would then do 0 and 1. So that works. Is equal to the end, snaky bite, count plus equal 1. So that's going to increment it all up by 1. And then we just want to return the count. Let's see what happens there. Two characters in, sorry, so it wants to go in 2 characters. So if we look there, it would go from there if we only went 1 in, which would then still result in that last one. So we actually want that. So -2, -1, we want then that to go to -1. Cool. So let's run that. Okay, so they did a bit of error handling here at the start. So they checked to see if the length was less than 2. That's fine. And then they did the last 2 characters here and set the count. Yep, pretty much the same thing. Okay, so they took away 2, and then they added 2 onto that substring, and then they define that separately, which that's fine if you want to do that. So they go on the substring, and then they literally said to check if the sub is equal to the last 2. Cool. Next one. Whoop, what are we up to? Array count 9. So we want to count, given an array of ints, return the number of 9s that are in the array. So we want to, again, count. So we're going to go count is equal to 0. Then we're going to do a for loop for x in range length of nums. Snaky bite. No, we can cheat with this. Let's do this for x in nums, because we're going to get the actual number out of each time. So if x is equal to 9, snaky bite, count plus equal to 1. And then at the end, we return the count. Yeah, sweet. So that has a count variable that's set to 0. We run a for loop that goes through the list called nums, and it takes each individual element. That's what the for x does. So each time x will change, it starts at 0. So we'll go 1, check that, then 2, then check that, then 9, then check that. And if x is equal to 9, they increment it. Otherwise, we don't do anything. Once the loop exits, we then return the count. That's what they did. Yeah, cool. So, okay, this guy's awesome. He's super smart. So he's done it the same way. Yeah, nice. Really, really cool. So he's gone count is equal to 0. For num in nums, if num is equal to 9, count is equal to count plus 1, return the count. Cool. So given an array of ints, return true if one of the first 4 elements in the array is 9. The array length may be less than 4. Okay, so array front looks like that. So we want to get the length is 4. Okay, and we want to return true. So for x in range length of nums, snaky bite, if nums, let's try this again. Hang on. So for x in nums, let's go there. So x is nums. We're going to go through each element. And if x is equal to 9, snaky bite, return true. Otherwise, we're just going to return false. See how that goes. Okay, so it just wants to go for the first 4. What happens if we just did this? X in range 4. Doesn't work. Okay, because so sometimes the array may be less than it. Righto. Let's make a length variable. So we go length is equal to 4. So to start off, if we want it to be 4, we're all good. If nums the length of nums, so len nums is less than 4, snaky bite, the length then changes. So instead of being that full length, it should shrink down to whatever the length of the array is. So then we'll go equals length of nums. Oh, and sorry, get rid of that bracket. Oh, and then change the array, sorry. And then the length goes there. So for x in the range of the length, if x equals 9, return true, else return false. Okay. The falses are good. It's the trues. Oh, man, because it's doing a range Muppet. So if nums x, yeah, so if the array at position x is equal to 9, then return true. So we weren't able to use x in nums because we needed to control this length. There we go. Cool. So we've got the length is equal to 4 if length of nums is less than 4. Length equals len of nums. If for x in range of length, if nums at the position x is equal to 9, return true. Otherwise, we return false. Let's see what old mate did. Okay, cool. So he's done a little bit different. He's done the end is equal to the length of the nums. If end is greater than 4, he just makes it equal to 4, so it cuts it off. That works as well. For I in range of the end, if, yep, same. Cool. Next one. Given an array of ints, return true if the sequence of the numbers 1, 2, 3 appears in the array somewhere. Okay, so we're either returning true or false, so we can go straight into a for loop. So for x in nums, yeah, let's do that. For x in nums, if no, we need some way of controlling that. Sorry, that's not going to work. So we want to do the range again. So then we want to go to the range, and then we'll do the length of nums. So then if nums at x is equal to 1, so if the value inside of that is 1, and the value at nums at x plus 1 is equal to 2, and the value at nums x plus 2 square bracket is equal to 3, snaky bite, return true. Otherwise, right at the end, we just do return false. So that if that ever happens where it's all equal, it returns true, exits the loop, and then if nothing happens, it returns false. Let's see what happens. Out of range. Yeah. So list out index out of range. So with this loop, it would go 1, 1, 2, 3, and 1. Okay. But when it gets here, see when it gets up to this one here, there is no 1 or 2 array elements to the right of it. So we actually have to take off 2 to balance out these 2 inspections that you've done on this side of it. So we run that. Cool. Done. Is that it? Yeah, so that was it, that one. Last one, string match. Given 2 strings, A and B, return the number of the position where they contain the same length 2 substrings. So XXCAAZZ and XXBAAZ yields 3. What the? This looks gnarly. Okay, so it's got an XX, there's an XX, an AA, there's an AA, and then an AZ, and then there's an AZ. Okay, so the XX, the AA, and the AZ, between them, substring appears in both strings. So if we look at this one, we've got XXCAAZZ, so XX would be the one. Got the C, no, AA would return another one, and then AZ would be another one. But these have different lengths, it looks like. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they can have different lengths. We then have ABC, ABC. So AB is the same as AB, and then BC is the same as BC. And then we have ABC, which doesn't have anything in common. Okay, so this is going to get a bit gnarly. So we're going to need a count variable. So we're going to go count is equal to 0. What do we need to do then? We need to iterate through. Hang on. Let's just see what happens when we do return A. Yeah, cool. So they have different ones. So when we iterate through this, we only need to go through however many times the smallest amount is. So we could do, let's do this as an if statement. So if the length of A is less than the length of B, we want to have this in a value. So smallest. So just define it outside here. We then go smallest equals A. Yep, so if that's true, that's the smallest. Else, smallest equals B. So that will give you the smallest out of the two of those guys. Right, now we want to do a loop through that. So we're going to go 4x in range. Can we do it in the array? No. Or can we? No, we need to go through range because we want to do referencing the array. So we want to go range the length of the smallest. Snaky bite. And then we want to check it. So the two elements. So we want to get the array out of it. So we're going to have we want to get, yeah, okay. So we want to go if square brackets, sorry, a square brackets from x to x plus 2 square brackets. So that will get the substring from the very beginning of A. And it doesn't matter if it's which one's the smallest or the largest, because we know that the smallest is given us the number. We want to check if that is equal to B square bracket x colon x plus 2 square bracket. Snaky bite. And then if that happens, we will go count plus equal to 1. And then that should work. Return the count. Give it a go. Line 8. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Snaky bite. Got that. Okay. Righto, so it's nearly there. So ABC should return 2, but I got 3. And then hello, he got 1, that was okay. ABC, AXC. What's going on there? It's cutting it. Because it's 2 arrays, we can take away 1. Because we're doing a substring, we're not going all the way to the end. Yeah, cool. Awesome. That last one. Yep, done and dusted. So hopefully you've picked up something with that. Coding Bat's awesome. The more you practice this, the better you'll get. I've been coding for a very long time and I'm still rusty sometimes. So I haven't actually picked up Python for a while. So I'm still getting back into it after probably 6 months break away from it. So yeah, the more you practice it, it's like anything with a language, the better you get. But then the cool thing is the structures aren't that much different. So you're always going to be using if statements, else statements, or loops. You just need to think about how to use them with the strings and stuff. Okay. This is amazing practice. More that you do, the better you'll get at this. Okay. My hint to you is just to play these, pause it, try and do it yourself, and then unpause it to see how my brain thought it through. So then you might learn something of how my failures basically. And it's okay to fail if you haven't picked up on that. It's okay to fail. Basically, if you click the go button and it doesn't work, nothing's going to go wrong, right? So that's one of the common mistakes that a lot of programmers have when they start out, is you actually want to fail, right? You look forward to it, because if it fails, at least you now can learn something from that and read through your code to find out where it went wrong. Because I'll give you a little hint, there's always a solution to all these coding bat problems. Okay, which is really, really cool. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks again. See you next time on STEAM with Steve. Adios. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe our videos down below, just because that helps with our YouTube algorithm. Cool. See you next time. Bye.